People, hello, how are you? Nathan Raymond in Japan of the Japan English Exchange, writing to you right now, speaking to you right now, but writing in terms of the questions, okay? The 12 questions that I created that I am sharing with you. And if you want that, you let me know and I will share it. But right now, this video is going to be about those 12 questions so that before I even send it to you, we get a little bit in depth about what I'm talking about. Now, look, the emails that I would send you if you were interested that are going to show you are going to include these 12 questions, and they're really easy, okay? They're devised on this graphic I have that describes my program, okay? And with that, we're talking about the 12 internships, all right? And the 12 internships that if you came to Japan that you would do that would give you definitely the whole key, all right, to how you're going to be making money with me, okay, in 12 different ways. So look, here we go. Number one, the internship. So number one is the first thing you're going to do in Japan is that you're here to experience an internship. So my question is to you is what experience do you need, okay, to learn, and what skill would you be interested in learning and why? Now, I know if I just ask you these questions, you're not going to immediately, see, that's why speaking with me is so important, because you're not going to immediately come to an answer that's going to help you. That's basically what we're trying to do. Yes, you are going to give an answer, but I'm going to say some things to you that's going to be, so before we can choose, let me ask you questions like, for example, what do you enjoy doing? Obviously, we're on Facebook and we're talking. So you enjoy being on Facebook. So I'm reading from the behavior and what we find ourselves in. And don't you like speaking and be on Facebook? Wouldn't you rather be doing that as a job rather than the job you're probably doing now, where having this conversation on Facebook is seen a little bit as a distraction from your job? But if you're engaged in conversation on Facebook, then the thing you're engaged in should be the thing that you want to do. So your internship of coming in here, being an English teacher and being an ambassador, those are the things that eventually you'll probably come around with me to agreeing you would want to do, unless you have something that you can already be specific about. And in that case, I'm all willing to hear it, and I'll just introduce you directly to the people who you're going to be able to build with. Okay, anyway, number two. So my class. What do you like talking about? Could you be a native speaker having a conversation with an English language learner? What do you usually talk about? So, right, you'll give an answer. What do you like talking about? Well, what are your hobbies? Not just what do you like talking about. What did you talk about? What are you talking about right now with me on Facebook? What is it we're talking about? We're talking about entrepreneurship, psychology. See, the thing you're doing now is what you answer these questions with. So could you be a native speaker having a conversation with an English learner now? You're an English speaker having a conversation with me right now. What do you usually talk about? What are we talking about? We're talking about how you're going to get your dream, empowerment, and how that's going to happen. So that's part of my class. So now you got this revenue stream from an internship, people learning what we're doing. And then number two, the fact that we're doing it in English. All right? Number three, nonprofit. Now you make money from nonprofits. Would you be willing to volunteer, and what cause would you support? You're volunteering right now talking to me. You don't even know the value you're giving me. I need other people. We need other people. So we just have to claim our power and be a true asset to the people we're talking about. And that means we have to know ourselves, which is what we're doing right now. So nonprofit, what you do is we're getting money through our volunteering too. Okay? And we volunteer because, see, volunteer or internship or doing something first to demonstrate the benefit before people buy. So that's essentially what we're doing anyway. Okay? Question number 4, podcast. Would you be willing to volunteer for a podcast? Well, what are you passionate about that we could discuss at length? And what kinds of things could we do in relation to that so we can then talk about it online? And, well, I and you, we're talking about getting our dreams. We're talking about our experience, our adventures, of what our mutual way of thinking, how that played out for another individual from their perception. And we can identify with them in a sense so that their experience then becomes ours. We contribute to the amount of experiences we've had. Okay? And so that's what our podcast is about. It's reality TV, talking about people, talking about you, talking about your journey, your history. That's a whole thing. And having you tell your story in a way that's organizing you to the best that you need to be. And we talk about on podcasts, that's another revenue stream. So, right, what kinds of things are you experiencing that you could communicate about it to someone who knows nothing about it? And that's your hobbies, that anything you've done more than 3 years. And I'll elicit that in high school. Did you have clubs? Did you join sports? You know, these things, they're relevant to this case. Muscle memory, okay? So boom, that's all again on the podcast. Now, number 5, travel. If we could travel to meet people, to collaborate with them, where would you want to go? Who would you want to meet? What kinds of things would you want to be doing? And of course, I'll be telling you, based on the things you tell me of the people you want to meet, what kinds of experiences you're going to be having. You know, okay. Let's see. How about going to an event where we give speeches or perform dance or spoken word or more intricate art? Would you be willing to walk or talk or listen to people that will give valuable information to others so they can go out and take action? Yes, those are our empowerment events. When we all gather, we're going to all be in a group. You know, we're going to be learning about each other so that when we're done, we have a plan of what we're doing, because afterwards we're going to be executing with each other and taking action. That's why we offer more than what other people do, because after they just get your money and you don't hear from them again. Okay? So again, that is all travel. I mean, that's all podcast, right? Travel. Sorry about that. Okay, then there's a university component. That's number 6. Would you be willing to meet people in a university to discuss with them their after graduation plans and offer an internship for after they graduate? So you just being there to a university person as a connection, and perhaps hopefully afterwards you develop a relationship on social media. It's our connections and genuine ones that we can trust, that we've invested in, that become our assets in this digital game. We need people that we can trust. So, you know, there's a level of genuine collaboration that has to have, you know, information exchange about each other so that you are rooted in a customized, right, engineered, let's say, but very tight-knit asset for yourself and resource. So look, university, right? What kinds of students would you like to meet? You can meet if you're someone out there who's like a business owner or wants to recruit great people, what kind of schools do you want to go to? What people's skills do you want to recruit? You can do that with me. Right? Did you go to university? What kinds of things would you like to study? Would you be willing to do this on YouTube and on Facebook? I mean, that's just another avenue you could do. Then there's 7, local business. Would you be willing to volunteer at a local business? Could you assist people in training while using the opportunity to make a video we can use to market online? What kinds of businesses do you have experience in? Can we shoot video of this on YouTube and Facebook? Look, you need to keep coming up with content for your Facebook channel that's real, organic, not planned. People just get sick of planned. You get sick of planned. These situations where we're connecting with people and we just get invited and we go, we have no idea where we're going sometimes, but that's the real, genuine, organic stuff. So local business, we connect through the Chamber of Commerce because we're connecting to the governments. And you have to have intricate anatomy of how governments are set up. You can do that with me. You'll have this, so this is how we're also colonizing, basically, colonize in a sense. Like we set up these lines of communication where not just information flow, money flow, but information is our money flow. So information, baby. Okay, so that's local business. Boom. Now we've got 8, tech recruitment, right? Would you be willing to call people in a HR, introduce people, you scout and interview? What kind of people would you like to meet and would you want to introduce them to? Now, look, this is the thing is that, we are a friendship association and we're looking for members. And we do recruit people when we know that they're acting in situations that we are going to find them. Okay. So, and ultimately, yes, we have an unorthodox way of calling people, but the fact that we're doing what we're doing gives us a way to introduce ourselves and people will really want to communicate with you. All right. So you trust me on this. Okay. 9, Makers Lab. Would you be willing to build new inventions with people and constructing them with kits? What kinds of things would you like to invent and why? If you like engineering at all, or even if you like being social, right? We're developing within that space next generation inventions by culturally collaborating and sharing with us, different disciplines in next generation technology that we're developing that attracts a bigger audience of us combined, but it blends our benefits. So again, a Makers Lab. Boom. Number 10, right? Franchise. Would you be willing to help me in creating a successful small model that we can then use to sell our idea to a larger and wealthier company that can afford to implement our program? What kinds of new models do you want to develop to solve what problem? And do that by creating that solution in collaboration with people that we demonstrates our results personally to show on social media or promote that we attract people as magnets for personal brand development and freelance entrepreneurship. What kinds of things would you want to promote? What do you feel passionate about and want to positively affect? That's a big one. But obviously, the things that you do, okay? When I ask you, what are your hobbies? What'd you do last week? What'd you do last month? What are you involved in? It's easier for you to just tell me what you're doing than for you to give me your opinion on these answers. So that's why these questions are not questions in themselves. They're points that you and I talk, and even through both of our sides, we come up with even answers different from what you're probably originally going to write. But the answers we come with up together, those are going to be the specific solutions. That's why we have to talk about this too. All right. But right now, you could still think about it. This franchise of right now, what we're doing and organizing people becomes our grassroots empowered community and source of connection that spreads. So that's why right now I'm also telling you what we're doing because this is a franchise. But within that, in your niche, you'll develop also something that's unique, and that will be something you can individually franchise too. So there'll be enough balance of what you get by collaborating, but also with what you generate personally, because it's your YouTube, your channel, your personal brand. And we want it to stand on what your contribution is. No one's gonna give a solution like you. You are unique and you have the most amazing gifts. So you have to know yourself, and through this you do. And you can recognize then the people that you're giving your value to by asking them questions that you're going to be trained to ask. Okay? Number 11 is art. Okay, what kinds of art do you like? What kinds of art do you do? Do you know any artists? Are you willing to view and experience the art others create and collaborate to improve it and use it to attract others? We then can also get to know and lead to more collaboration as freelancers. We're always recruiting. That includes connecting to art because art attracts people and artists need support. There's a great collaborative relationship there. If you could be someone that acts as an agent that is helping that artist handle the social side of things so they're free to focus on the art. So, if anything, by hearing this, get confident that you need to approach artists because they can greatly help you. And if you just build into your situation how to include them, they'll attract people, they'll attract money, and together you guys can grow together. Because I'm also a rapper. So I'm hoping if somebody wants to, they can do that with me. Okay? And then last but not least is the City Hall 12. So we are talking about how we are going to take over certain responsibilities because on a capitalist, right? On our demonstration, we can better attract people to come visit us by a face-to-face personal brand attraction when it comes to inbound tourism than our governments can do. Our governments have a tourism department and they get their salary whether or not people come or not. They just do it. But we have a lot more riding at stake. We need it, but we can also say personally, come visit for this training, for this extra stuff that we're doing with my brand and the educational company and training, which you are a part of, and you are adding so much to it. Trust me on that this becomes something that city halls transform. They don't need the tax money. Instead, they're using volunteering in city instead. See, it's going to transform. Now they're getting free labor as opposed to people paying money. And people are handling the responsibilities that have to go on in a community. So this is going to be freeing us up in a lot of ways, but also empowering us because we're building our YouTube channels and our websites as things that are going to be used to self-sustain us. And doing that with each other sooner than later gives you valuable personal brand development, which you're going to just grow and take on. You have no idea. This is the first step to a much bigger life. So again, these can be some questions I might ask you. This could reveal the way you promote your personal brand. I will help you answer these questions in specific detail so that it can be used by AI. We can organize and create a smart asset you can incorporate while we are on social media. This is communication based, but will lead to us developing a smart community that makes others smarter in education. We will be a resource you can use to become a freelancer. Then you can travel from where you are to visit me and then other countries if you choose, and you will be ready to develop value with people anywhere you go and get them to visit me too. This is totally mutual benefit. So again, Nate Raymond in Japan. Answer these 12 questions. Let's talk about it. We can even record it, we can share it, or we don't have to. You know, maybe I swear each one of these questions I could do a video on, but this is an all-inclusive, hopefully one, so that people get a little bit motivated to ask me for these 20 questions, answer them, let's have a conversation about it, and I promise it's gonna be, you invest that kind of time, I'm gonna reward you with it. Nate Raymond in Japan, Japan English Exchange, and we're ready for you to exchange, okay? Take care. Love you. Nate, bye.